بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is the Unit 2 conversation. Of course, I think you know the theme or some of the vocabulary that will be used in the conversation because of the theme of this unit, if you remember it. Yes, very good. It's about food, about eating food, about also cooking food, types of food, dessert, and the main dish also. So if you remember, the title of this unit is, yes, very good, you are what you eat. But before we do that, if you remember our previous lesson, the phrasal verbs here, which consist of two parts, the verb and the particle, just like pick at or pick on or throw out and so on. Also, there are some separable and some are non-separable. Some you can separate them and put the noun or the pronoun between the verb and the particle, and some you cannot separate them. For example, here I say I ran into Rima. You don't say I ran Rima into. You don't say I ran Rima into. You say I ran into Rima. You can't separate ran and into. You say also I ran into her. You don't say I ran her into, so you cannot separate ran into. Some examples of non-separable here: call for, come from, look into, tire of, come across, go on, run into, turn out. And here is the separable. You can separate them and put the object between them. The chef cut up the steak, or you can say the chef cut the steak up. Also we took if a pronoun, if the object is a pronoun, that you must put it in the middle. The chef cut it up. So if it's a pronoun, you have to put it in the middle. Also we took the three-word phrasal verbs, not two words, three words. The verb, the particle, and the preposition. Just like here, catch up on, come down with, drop out of, load up on, take care of, when your mother tells you to take care of your brother. This is a three-word phrasal verb. So jumping to today's lesson, today's objectives: employ the real talk in a short conversation. Of course, we'll be learning new words here in the real talk. Set up dinner, hosting with, offering, accepting phrases. So, gourmet cook. Gourmet cook. Do you know what does it mean to be a gourmet cook? Who is a gourmet cook? Yes, a cook is someone who cooks something, of course, like a chef maybe. So what does it mean to a gourmet cook here? Gourmet is someone who knows a lot about and appreciates fine food. So someone who cooks in the highest level. So someone who likes and cooks and also appreciate food. Again, gourmet is someone who knows a lot about and appreciates fine food. So he's the highest level of a cook or chefs. Are you a gourmet cook? Do you know someone who is? Do you like gourmet food? So, are you a gourmet cook? Do you know a lot about cooking, that you think yourself on the highest level and you cook fancy food? Do you know someone who is? Do you know someone who is a gourmet cook? Or the third question here: do you like gourmet food? Gourmet food, the fancy food. So this is, of course, is a matter of preference, and of course, as long as it is delicious, we all like it. So now you're going to listen to a conversation. You're going to listen to a dinner table conversation about a wonderful meal. So you'll be hearing a conversation. People are sitting at a dinner table about a wonderful meal. So two people, Nawal and Fadwa, of course, will be talking about a wonderful meal while they are sitting at the table. So this is the conversation here. Listen with your books closed. So close your books and just listen to the conversation and try to understand it as much as possible. So let's listen.
Nawal, thank you so much for this wonderful meal. It must have taken all day to make such a phenomenal spread. Fadwa, my pleasure. It was no hassle at all. I whipped it up in no time. Nawal, you are quite the cook. I don't think I've ever had such a gourmet meal. Fadwa, I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Can I give you some more of the chicken? Nawal, oh, no thanks. I'm absolutely stuffed. Fadwa, would you like to try the grilled asparagus? Nawal, no, really, I couldn't possibly eat more. Fadwa, are you sure? Nawal, absolutely, honestly, I couldn't eat another bite. Fadwa, oh, that's a shame. I made 2 different desserts. One is a chocolate raspberry cake and the other is almond creme brulee. Nawal, did you say chocolate raspberry cake? Come to think of it, it's rude to turn down food, right? I'm sure I could fit in a bit of that. And maybe I'll have a bite of creme brulee as well. I have a sweet tooth, you know.
So you notice here that Nawal changed her mind because she said she's stuffed, she's full, she can't eat another bite because she was offered a chicken and asparagus. But once Fadwa said that she wants to offer dessert, here Nawal couldn't refuse. You can notice here, did you say chocolate raspberry cake? Come to think of it, it's rude. It's rude. It's not polite. So rude means not polite. It's rude to turn down food, right? I'm sure I could fit in a bit of that. And maybe I'll have a bit of the creme brulee as well. I have a sweet tooth, you know. I want to ask you about what's the meaning of sweet tooth, but we will learn about that later in the real talk. So name one food that was served at the dinner. Name one food that was served. What did Fadwa serve at dinner? So she served chicken. Very good, because she offered chicken to Nawal. What else? Yes, grilled asparagus. So these were the main dish, of course. What about the dessert? Yes, chocolate and also the creme brulee. So now we'll be listening again to the conversation, but now try to read along. So now open your books and listen to the conversation and try to read along as you are listening. So let's listen again.
Nawal, thank you so much for this wonderful meal. It must have taken all day to make such a phenomenal spread. Fadwa, my pleasure. It was no hassle at all. I whipped it up in no time. Nawal, you are quite the cook. I don't think I've ever had such a gourmet meal. Fadwa, I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Can I give you some more of the chicken? Nawal, oh, no thanks. I'm absolutely stuffed. Fadwa, would you like to try the grilled asparagus? Nawal, no, really, I couldn't possibly eat more. Fadwa, are you sure? Nawal, absolutely, honestly, I couldn't eat another bite.
So before we continue the conversation, let's just learn some of the few words here. We're beginning. Nawal, thank you so much for this wonderful meal. It must have been taken all day to make such a phenomenal spread. What does it mean here, the word phenomenal? When you describe something as phenomenal, so it means that you can find this every day, in every place. Yes, so phenomenal is one of a kind, something that's extremely rare, something that doesn't happen all the time. Phenomenal, it means something is extremely rare. So phenomenal spread. Fadwa said, my pleasure, my pleasure. It was no hassle at all. No hassle, it means I didn't have any problem at all. I whipped it up in no time. Nawal replied, you're quite the cook. I don't think I've ever had such a gourmet meal. Fadwa, I'm so glad here. So I'm so happy you're enjoying it. Can I give you some more of the chicken? Oh, no, thanks. I'm absolutely stuffed. When you say stuffed here, It means when you're having dinner with someone and he says, I'm stuffed. It means that he is full, that he ate too much now. Stuffed means full. Would you like to try the grilled asparagus? The grilled asparagus. So here, grilled. This is one way of cooking, to grill something. This is one way of cooking, to grill something. Can you think of another way? Of course, there is more than way for cooking. To barbecue, to boil. Yes, and there are, of course, more to that. So grilling, the barbecue, and also to boil. But here we have grilled asparagus. Grilled asparagus, no, really, I couldn't possibly eat more. Are you sure? Absolutely, honestly, I couldn't eat another bite. So let's continue here with the conversation, the second part here.
Fadwa, oh, that's a shame. I made 2 different desserts. One is a chocolate raspberry cake and the other is almond creme brulee. Nawal, did you say chocolate raspberry cake? Come to think of it, it's rude to turn down food, right? I'm sure I could fit in a bit of that. And maybe I'll have a bite of creme brulee as well. I have a sweet tooth, you know.
So here, let's read this one bit by bit. Oh, that's a shame. I made 2 different desserts. So shame, it has many meanings here. When you say to someone shame on you, it means that he did something wrong, but it's not what it means here. When you say that's a shame, it means that I wanted to do this, but now I can't, because she said here, because Nawal said that she's full. Fadwa replied, oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I wanted you to try more of my food. That's a shame that you can't try more. I made 2 different desserts. So this is one part of the meal. This is one part of the meal. So the first part, the first part of the meal is the appetizers. You remember the appetizers. Then the second part is, yes, the main dish. Then you have the dessert, when you eat sweet things, of course. Dessert one is a chocolate raspberry layer cake, and the other is almond creme brulee. Did you say chocolate raspberry cake? Come to think of it, it's rude. As I said before, rude means not polite. To turn down food. What does it mean to turn down something? To turn down something. It means to say no. Yes, to turn down something, it means to say no, right? I'm sure I could fit in a bit of that, and maybe I'll have a bite of the creme brulee as well. I have a sweet tooth, you know. So what foods were mentioned in the conversation? I think this is an easy one. So what foods were mentioned in the conversation? Yes, chicken, and also, very good, the grilled asparagus. Also, chocolate raspberry layer cake. And the last one, yes, very good, the almond creme brulee. So 4 foods were mentioned in the conversation. Chicken, grilled chicken here, the first one, grilled asparagus, chocolate raspberry layer cake, and almond creme brulee. The words creme brulee are actually French. I think you can notice just from pronouncing the food, the dessert here, creme brulee, and also from the writing, I think you can guess that it is French. So the words creme brulee are actually French. Why do people often use French words to discuss cooking? So this is an interesting question here. Why do people often use French words to discuss cooking? Why is that? Like creme brulee and some French words when they're talking about cooking. So the answer here is, in the Western world, France is famous for its cooking and great chefs. So that's why many French words are used in cookings or cooking books, because most of chefs are from France and they came up with many recipes for cooking. Again, in the Western world, France is famous for its cooking and great chefs. The second question, what does Nawal mean when she says the meal is phenomenal? I think we just answered this one. So the answer here is she means that it's uncommonly excellent. It is uncommonly excellent. We said that it's rare, it's one of a kind, it's uncommon to eat something like that, something extremely good. Again, the answer here, she means that it's uncommonly excellent. So the real talk here, spread, an abundant meal laid out on a table. Spread means an abundant meal laid out on a table, whipped it up, because she said, no, it's no hassle. I whipped it up quickly, made it quickly and easily. When you whip something up, whip it up, it means that you made it quickly and easily. In no time, when you say I did it in no time, it means very quickly, because there's no such thing as no time. It's just an expression. When you say in no time, it means very quickly. Quite the something. And here you write a profession. Quite the cook, because she said quite the cook, very good at something. When you say to someone, you are quite the driver, it means that he is a very good driver. He is quite the player. It means that he's a very good player. So quite the something, it means that he is very good at this thing. Again, quite the something, very good something. Come to think of it, something has just occurred to me. When you have something in your mind that has just occurred to you, you say, come to think of it, I don't want to go, for example. Something that has just occurred to me. Have a sweet tooth. Have a sweet tooth. It means that you love to eat sweet things, love desserts and candies. Maybe from the term itself, sweet tooth. Sweet tooth, it means you like to eat sweet things, love desserts and candy. So who said each word and why? The word here is spread. Who said the word spread and why? Yes, Nawal says this, indicating that Fadwa has prepared a lot of food. Nawal says this, indicating that Fadwa has prepared a lot of food. Whipped it up in no time. It's a no hassle. I whipped it up in no time. Who said this and why? So let's see the answer here. Fadwa says this, meaning that it didn't take her long to prepare the meal. Very good. Quite the cook. Quite the cook. I think this is an easy one. Nawal says this, talking about Fadwa, of course, meaning that Fadwa is a really good cook. Come to think of it. Who said come to think of it? Yes, Nawal says this to indicate that she's just realized that it would be rude not to have dessert. She's joking, of course, because she has just said that she was too full to have anything else. If you remember in the beginning, she was offered chicken and asparagus, and she said, no, I'm too full. But when Fadwa offered her sweets, cake and creme brulee, she said, come to think of it, I changed my mind. I'm not full. It's rude to turn down food. Of course, this is a joke. Have a sweet tooth. Have a sweet tooth. Of course, also Nawal says this, meaning that she likes sweet foods and can't resist the dessert. About the conversation questions here, does Nawal assume Fadwa went to a lot of trouble to cook the meal? What does Nawal say? What foods did Fadwa prepare? What change of attitude does Nawal have? What causes this change? So we have three questions here. Does Nawal assume Fadwa went a lot? Does Nawal assume that Fadwa went to a lot of trouble to cook the meal? What does Nawal say? What foods did Fadwa prepare? What change of attitude does Nawal have? What causes this change? So I think the first question here, does Nawal assume Fadwa went to a lot of trouble to cook the meal? So the answer, of course, yes. She says it must have taken all day, if you remember, to make such a phenomenal meal. This is what she said, because she says it must have taken all day to make such a phenomenal meal. What foods here? What foods did Fadwa prepare? What did she prepare, Fadwa? So Fadwa prepared chicken, grilled asparagus, chicken raspberry layer cake, and almond creme brulee. So she prepared four foods. Number 3, what change of attitude does Nawal have? What causes this change? She changed her mind or her attitude about something. And why did she do that? What causes this change? So Nawal said something, she had an attitude about something, then she changed this attitude. What did she change and why? Of course, she changed it as a joke, if you remember. So the answer here is, first she says she can't eat another bite. She's full, she's stuffed. But then she decides that she can eat more when she hears about the desserts, because she didn't want to eat chicken or asparagus. She wants dessert. Here's a language builder. Point out the word bite as a noun can mean a small amount of food. When you say, I just want a bite, the word bite, you know, the word bite as a verb is to bite something with your teeth. But as a noun, when you say, I'll have a bite, it means a small amount of food. It's often used when talking about eating, as in the following examples. I don't want much, just give me a bite, small portion here. We'll have a bite to eat before the show. I can't eat another bite. So bite as a noun, it means small amount of food. Your turn here, role play with a partner. Pretend you are hosting dinner for a family member. Act out the meal. The phrases from the box for offering, accepting, and declining food and drink. So here are the offering, accepting, and declining food and drink. When you want to offer food or drink, or you want to decline the food or drink, and of course to accept them. This chart will help you. Again, here, offering, accepting, and declining food and drink. Please help yourself too. Of course, this is offering here. When you're carrying, for example, a tray with the food that you prepared, you say here, for example, please help yourself to eat the food too. You name the food, maybe please help yourself to the chicken, for example. Would you like to try the creme brulee, for example? Would you like to try the creme brulee, for example, here? Of course, we're still offering here. Can I give you some more? Can I give you some more? So also here's an offering. Can I give you some more? Thanks, I'd love a little some more. This is, of course, accepting now. You say, thanks, I'd love a little. Or you say, thanks, I'd love some more. So here you are accepting. Declining here also, no, thank you. Thank you, but I'm full, for example. I couldn't eat another bite, just as she said, I'm stuffed. So all of these here, you are declining the food. Here, you are accepting. Thanks, I'd love a little, or you say some more. Here, these three, you are offering some food. Which expressions does Fadwa use in the conversation? Of course, she used, can I give you some more of the chicken? Would you like to try the grilled asparagus? So she said, would you like to try the chicken? And also, would you like, can I give you some more of the chicken? And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.